On your farm, the end result is clear. Our product in your tank. Our people at your side. Our programs hard at work. And our genetics moving you forward. Behind every bull that has changed the breed, every research project that has shaped our industry, and every partnership that has set new standards is our undying passion to serve you, our customer owners, by enhancing the productivity and profitability of your herd. Select Sires, your success, our passion.
First of all, welcome everybody to our first event of the Growing Through Showing workshops. We're very excited to put this on and hopefully give you some educational type of tools for both showing and developing your own animals. How many of you have your own animal you plan on showing this year? Wow, awesome. That's great. So my name is Kevin Ziemba, and I work for Select Sires, which is an AI company, and my job with Select Sires is to help dairy farmers with both their genetics and the reproduction that they do on their farms. And our workshop today is going to be about how to mate your animal that you have. Because everybody loves to have a great show animal that they can show, but one of the most exciting things to do is to be able to breed your own show animal, you know, and develop from a baby calf on up. So how many of you ever bred your own animal? Have not physically, but actually have made the decision of what they get bred to? Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about today. And we're going to split you into groups because this is going to be an interactive session. So we're going to look at these pedigrees and we're going to talk about what information is on the pedigree first. And then in your little folder, you actually have a group of sires. And what your job as a group at the end of our session is to pick a mating out of that group of bulls for the animal's pedigree that you have. Everybody understand? And you know, don't feel any pressure. You're not going to have to. I may ask you to explain a little bit why as a group, but it's no right or wrong answer. The thought process is to make you think about why you would mate that bull with this animal. So these are all cows that are on the Oakfield Corners Dairy Farm. And many of them have been animals that they've worked with and had great success genetically with. So on the top, we have a pedigree. And it's a official Holstein Association USA pedigree. What information do we see in this top left-hand corner? Yep. Age. Okay, yep. That her birth date is there on the actually top right-hand corner. So this animal, one animal that I have is the one that they have. Like my animal was born 3/2/2012. So what was your animal born? When was she born on your pedigree? Yep. Okay. And we have up here the animal's name. So that's her full registered name. So like my animal that I'm looking at is Oakfield Reg Demi Moore. And so the Oakfield is her what? Prefix. Yep. And then Reg is like a shortened version of her
registration?
No, her sire. Yep, it's a shortened version. So her sire is Reagan Crest Reginald. And so it's a shortened version. And then Demi Moore is her name. Yeah, so that's what they call her. So underneath the name is her registration number. And that is the identification that is used to track her throughout the dairy population. And then we have a lot of genetic information after that. So this is her genetic information for milk, fat, protein. So that line PTA. PTA stands for predicted transmitting ability. So this is her ability to transmit genetics onto her offspring. For milk, which is the M. So this animal is actually, that I'm looking at, is minus 441 for milk, but plus 14 pounds of fat and minus 6 pounds of protein. So that gives you some information to determine if you want to focus on the production, or from a show ring standpoint or type standpoint, focusing on the type information. So after that, there's more genetic information. The bottom line of the genetic information is that this animal is plus 3.03 for type, which is the T. Can everybody see that? Are you guys sharing that information? Okay. My animal is 2.33 for UDC. What does UDC stand for? Anybody know? Got a guess? It's a Dairy Bowl question. Udder composite. And then plus 2.25 for FLC, which is foot and leg composite. So from there, the next group of lines, like 1 year, 10 months, there's some days and then some numbers. What do those numbers represent? Anybody know? Yes?
How many days in milk?
Yep. So this is like her production record. So my animal here calved at 1 year and 10 months. And then she milked for 304 days. She made, in those 304 days, 18,910 pounds of milk. 3.9% of that milk was butter fat, so she made 733 pounds of fat. And then 3.1% of that milk was protein, and 587 pounds of protein. So that tells you how much milk or fat and protein that animal made. So then we have here all of this information. Anybody know what this is? Right here. Yes.
Her dam and sire.
Her dam and sire. So which is on the top, the sire or the dam? The sire. The sire. And then the bottom is the dam. So what's the name of her sire? Back there. Anybody? What's the name of the sire on your animal? What's that? Reality. What's the full name? Yep. Very good. And then what's the dam on your guys' group? Yep. So that gives you the information so that you can see who the sire of your animal is and who the dam is. How many of you looked at the catalog this morning for the sale? That same information is there so that you can it helps you make a decision, not just only looking at the animal, but what the family in which that animal comes from. And that changes the value of that animal. You know, the better the pedigree, the more value the animal has. Does that make sense? Okay. So, we have the sire and the dam. So then we have it broken out here. Thank you. Grandsire and granddam. On the top, it's the sire side. So what is that referred to as? There's a word. How many of you heard the word maternal or paternal? Good. So on the sire side, which is it? Yep. Paternal. So the animal right on the top here is the paternal grandsire. And then the paternal granddam. And then down here we have the maternal grandsire. And then you guys tell me what this is.
Maternal grand.
Maternal grandam. Yep. So this gives you 2 generations to look at. And it tells you, a lot of information about the animal. We also know at the top here on the Demi Moore cow, she was classified. And it says she was classified at 4 years and 0 months. She was scored excellent 90. Yeah. So that tells you from a type standpoint what the animal looks like. It gives you an idea of her ranking for type within the industry. And if an animal is scored excellent at 90 and above, that's a pretty good goal, and it's something that you want to strive with for when you're breeding your own animals or making your own mating decisions. After the score, there's a bunch of letters. Like on mine, it's EEVVE. Anybody know what those little letters mean? Anybody? Okay. Yep, excellence and very goods, but do you know in what categories? So when we classify animals, we actually break them into categories. We classify them for different traits that they have. So the first letter of E on mine stands for what? There's 5 letters, so it's 5 categories. Does anybody know what the first category is? No. So the first category is front end capacity, which is like your the size of your rib, your stature, your strength. The second category is dairy strength, which is how clean boned, free of body fat, but also having some depth of rib and strength with that. The third category is rump. How level the rump is, how wide the rump is. The fourth category is feet and legs. How nice they set underneath the cow. If they have an intermediate set to the hock, if the legs are underneath them, if she, doesn't hock in, and how she walks. And then the last category is what? Yes. Udder. Yes. The most important breakdown. Udder. So this animal, my animal, is EEVVE, which means she's awesome in front end capacity and dairy strength, pretty good in rump, pretty good in feet and legs, and really good in the udder. So that gives you some information when you're making a decision of what you're breeding your animal to, of how to change her. So this animal, we want to see her a little bit better in the rump and feet and legs. Without seeing the animal in person, we're just going off the information on the pedigree. So that gives you some guidelines to decide what you're going to breed your animal to. One of the other things you want to look at when making a mating decision is the actual sire line. So for instance, this animal is sired by Reagan Crest Reginald. And Reginald's father is Braidale Goldwyn. There's a lot of Braidale Goldwyn blood or genetics in all of our show cows. So when you're making a mating decision, do you want to use a bull on her that has more Goldwyn? Does that make sense? So when you're making your mating decisions, you want to, it doesn't matter whether it's Goldwyn or any other bull, you want to make sure that the pedigrees don't have a lot of what we call inbreeding. You want to make matings that keep you away from, doing a lot of mating within the same family line. Does that make sense? Okay. So also you can see here on the dam and the grandmother, you have that classification score information as well, and those same breakdowns. And that'll help you make those decisions as to, what areas should I improve and what areas I should be happy with. Does that make sense? So, in your booklet, you have some bulls. And those bulls are actually from each of the AI companies that are sponsors here. And I want you guys to take a minute and, as a group, decide what bull you want to mate your animal to. Let's start right here. What cow do you have? What's your cow's full name?
Oakfield Red Debbie Moore ET.
Okay, you have Demi Moore. And what bull are you going to mate her to?
Walnut Lawn
Solomon. Solomon. Yep. No, that's good. So why did you pick Solomon?
Because he is all positive.
Linear traits.
And then it'll help for the calf to have better feet and legs and
Yeah, because the rest of the bulls all had something like wrong
with the
their
wrong
rump or their
high
legs.
pins in the legs.
And this one has the
Very good. Very good. That was a really good explanation and a nice choice. It'll gives you a nice combination. The only, yeah, no, it's really good. I appreciate the time that you guys took. I hope you learned a little bit of something about how to read a pedigree. Do you feel like you learned a little something about a pedigree and making matings?